Hello, and welcome to our virtual back to school night for the fall semester of 2021. My name is Kelsey Wallace, and I'm just going to introduce myself and then go through some pertinent information for my class, what I'm teaching, how I teach, and how I grade. So in terms of my education, I graduated from Millersville University with a Bachelor of Science. I had a focus in environmental biology and chemistry. After that, I got my teaching certificate in science for Pennsylvania, and currently I'm finishing up my master's degree in science, specifically in STEM education. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and it's a kind of integration of those topics to bring a more kind of holistic education to students. So that's my focus for my master's, and I'll finish that in the spring. So my teaching experience, this is my fourth year teaching. This is my third year at Cocalico School District, and this is my first year at the high school. So my very first year teaching, I was a long-term sub at Ephrata, and then the past 2 years I was at Cocalico Middle School. So currently I am just teaching Principles of Science, and I'm just teaching 9th grade. I have 3 blocks of that, and that's made up of 55 students of your children. The curriculum we focus on, the course is called Principles of Science, and we cover topics ranging from the scientific method all the way to the workings of outer space. So it covers a wide range of science topics on the spectrum, and we focus on how science works as a process in the context of our lives here, especially on planet Earth. So we talk about how the processes of science function in the Earth system, how we relate to the Earth system, and how the Earth exists within a wider universe. So some of the units and topics we focus on, again, the scientific process in general, that's kind of embedded in a lot of our labs and activities that we do. We did a mapping unit. We did a chemistry review unit. We have geology, which we're currently in, learning about Earth's land surface and Earth's resources. We'll do some ecology studies kind of embedded in geology and oceanography studies. Oceanography, meteorology, the study of the atmosphere, weather, climate, and then of course astronomy is the solar system and the wider universe, celestial bodies, and so on. It's a very fun curriculum. It's very wide-ranging, so I've been enjoying it. Grading practices. So I am using weighted categories this semester. So that means that I selected 4 different categories and gave them a percentage, and if I happen to put an assignment into that category, the grade that the student receives on that assignment will be calculated in to serve as a percentage of the total final grade. So labs and projects serve as 25% of the grade, tests serve as 45%, quizzes 20%, and assignments and homework are only 10%. Some of the types of assignments and projects that we do. So we want to have a lab-based course here for science so that students are truly engaging in the scientific process. They're, coming up with hypotheses, they're testing those hypotheses, they're collecting data, and then they're, conversing, collaborating, and drawing conclusions on science phenomena that we see in the classroom. Tests and quizzes, I use, pretty traditional multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, short answer, and essay. Something different I did change, and I do have some students I had last year in 8th grade. So something I did change on those tests and quizzes was I kind of reduced more of the multiple choice and kind of expanded on the short answer and essay. And so I'm working to help students to challenge themselves in their writing and expand on their thoughts and work that way. Projects, I really enjoy projects. Sometimes they're independent, sometimes students work in pairs or even in a larger group of 4. And I enjoy these because they, provide students with an alternate way of showing their knowledge on a topic. So for example, we did a really neat poster project as a group. Students conversed and kind of talked about and researched the spheres on Earth, so the biosphere, the hydrosphere, and looked at how does a certain event, say a volcano, how does that impact all the spheres on Earth, and how do we talk about the relationship of those spheres on Earth and the Earth system in general. So that's one example. Students have made some slideshows. We'll be doing more modeling later when we get into things like plate tectonics and the solar system as well. Again, maybe an essay. We did a written lab report. Students did pretty well on that, and another one of those will be coming soon. And then presentations. I love hearing from students. I love having them at the front and hearing what they've learned and, sharing with the class some knowledge that, they can contribute to others. Homework. I'm not big on homework. The only thing I really say for homework is you should be studying. And right now we're working to find the best ways for each student. How do you study best? Here are some strategies. So I've been introducing those in class, but they should always be studying their notes and their worksheets and labs and things. In addition, if there's a class assignment that isn't finished or maybe needs to be wrapped up, that may be part of the homework. Very rarely I will give a homework assignment. The other type of homework would be maybe work on your project for 20 minutes, something like that. And then there are some virtual assignments in my class. I really enjoy the Schoology discussion posts, giving students time to reflect on what they've learned or explore current topics in, say, renewable energy. That's what we're doing right now. I use Google Docs sometimes where students are accessing the drive. They have their own copy of an assignment and they're typing in. Also, sometimes in lab, we'll do data collection where they're typing into, say, an Excel sheet. Rules and expectations. This is right from my syllabus, so I pulled this right off of there. In general, students have been really doing a great job and haven't had too many issues, being on time, being prepared. I think the biggest issue that students are having is adapting to the high school environment, high school expectations, and the class structure, so that it's 80 minutes in the block, and they have to use that time wisely and be efficient and so on. I don't allow cell phones in the room. They should be put away, but everything else is pretty standard. Make sure your child is checking Schoology and PowerSchool every day for their grades and any missing assignments. In addition, I hope that students are always communicating with me, asking questions, asking for help. That's a big expectation of mine. Lastly, I did want to just mention absences. In our current situation, students are responsible for making up work after they're absent. So if they have, if they're out for one day, they have one day to make up the work. So it's kind of an equal amount. 4 days out, you got 4 days to make it up. Students are struggling with this right now, and I'm trying to work with them as much as possible, but we do have a focus period at the end of the day, which is a study hall, where students should be coming in to make up that work and ask for help. And, in addition, if students are at home and able to do work, everything is posted to Schoology for me. So I give a overview of what we did during that day, and then I attach every resource they may need. I also attach virtual, alternatives to in-person work. So everything is on there, and sometimes I get if students don't know what to do, but they should be coming to speak with me and asking for help. Otherwise, it's been a great start to the year, and I've loved having your students in class. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Phone call or email are perfect. I love to hear from you and be involved. Have a great day.